Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be just covering a whole bunch of different bass ukulele lines. So I had a request for Stand By Me. I know I have a version of it where I did a solo arrangement. We're just going to go over the basic bass line on that, and then we'll go over a few other things. So if you have any bass lines in mind, my idea is if I know them, I can teach them to you. And if I don't know them, or if I can't remember some details about it, basically what I'm going to do is listen to them, because YouTube doesn't really want other people's music in the background of videos. So I'm going to listen to them through headphones and try to keep it entertaining while doing that to teach you guys your requests. And if you don't have a lot of requests, I just have a few songs that might just be good ones to learn anyway. I'm thinking things like Pink Floyd Money, just the basic groove on that, and maybe going all the way through the verse part. And then another one, Bites the Dust, and a few other things like that. But if you have any other lines that you'd like, let me know. And we'll just jump right into it. And let me know as we go if there's anything with the audio that I need to change. Like, for instance, if the bass is overdriving, then just let me know, and we'll work from there. And we might have to deal with some outside noise right now, but hopefully that'll be okay. All right. So we'll start off with the request of Stand By Me. I've covered this a couple times, but we'll just go over it basically, and I'll try to hit it from a couple different angles so that you have a couple different ways to play it. So here's the bass line first. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on the second fret on the G string. This whole song is in A, so if you know the key of A major, we'll talk about something else that we can do with it. But we're going to start on the second fret on the G string. We're going to play that twice. Then we're going to play the second fret on the D string just once. Then the first fret on the G string. Then the second fret on the G string. And then we're going to do that twice, but that'll be going into the next part. So we've got. Okay. So then after that, we're going to have 2, 1. So that's second fret and first fret on the G string. And then we're going to have the fourth fret on the D string 2 times. Then the second fret on the D string once. And then we're going to play the fourth fret on the D string twice. So from the beginning, 2, 1, 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 2. So I'm not sure if I said that, but after the 2 times of doing the fourth fret on the D string, then we're going to hit that fourth fret one more time, but it's followed by another note pretty quickly, so that's why I waited to say it. So 3 times total on the 4s. So we got right, and then the next one will be the 2 on the D string, second fret on the D string. So okay, and then after that we've got the open D string twice, and then really a third time, and that's going to be that third open D. Then we're going to play the fourth fret on the D string, then the second fret on the D string. So open, 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 4, 2, 2, and then we've got another second fret on the D string going into the ending, which is kind of how the pattern's going to start over again. So we got 2, 1, so 2 on the D string, first fret on the G string, and second fret on the G string. And then you kind of do that again. And the reason I'm telling you to do that at the end is the pattern doesn't really start over until after that. So the pattern starts like this, and it also ends in the same spot. So just make sure that you end up with 4 times of the pattern that start on that A, which is the second fret on the G string. So from the end of the first pattern to the beginning of the second time through the song. So I'm not playing a hammer-on anywhere in here. You could do hammer-ons and pull-offs. I'm just playing the notes the way they are. But that's one way to do it. So one downside to this way is that you have some notes that are fretted, and then you have that open D note, and it might ring out too much. So I know there's a lot of people that try to keep the tone consistent rather than playing it here. It would start over here. You get the idea, and it keeps going through the pattern there. So so basically you can play it down there, but if you want less of a bright tone, I would recommend starting on the 7th fret on the D string. It's also an A note. See how they're the same note? So all I did there was I used the 5 fret rule, where basically to get a note from a thinner string to a thicker string, I added 5 frets and then moved to the thicker string. So what I like doing here is using the A major scale pattern. So if you know your major scale pattern, then this will be helpful. If not, you may want to learn the major scale. But the way I like to think of this song is I think of it in terms of what note in the major scale is being played. So I'm not just talking about going like A, E, D sharp, A, or sorry, G sharp, E, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, F sharp. I'm not just talking about going like that. What I'm talking about, and this will come in handy if you want to play it with somebody that wants to play it in a different key. So I know a lot of you ukulele players want to play it in the key of C. So we learned it in the key of A just now. You'd want to start on a C note, but we're going to use this idea of the major scale to be able to move it. But let's stay in A. But basically what I'm doing to figure this out is I play through my A major scale, and I'm going to give each one of those notes a number within the scale. Like it's the first note of the scale, so I'm going to call it 1, second note of the scale 2, third note of the scale 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So if I were to play this bass line, I would be thinking 8, like 8th note of the scale. So none of these are frets. So I'm making that really clear. If this is confusing to you, just go back to the first way of learning it. But I think of it this way. 8, meaning the 8th note of the scale. It's the 7th fret on the D string, but it's the 8th note of the scale. So 8, 8, 5, 7, 8, 8, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 4, 6, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8, 8, 5, 7, 8, 8, then it starts over. 5, 7, 8, 8. So you get the idea. After that 5, 7, that's where it started over. So so let's say we want to play that in the key of C. Well, we find our C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Another way to look at it, if you don't want to get confused with numbers, you could do something that to me is far more confusing and do solfege. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, do, sol, la, do. Or that's T. So ti, do, 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 ti, la, sol, la, sol, fa, la, sol, ti, do, sol, ti, do. And then you can move that around to any other pattern as well. But that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just using a number system instead of doing solfege because that just confuses me more. I tried there, and I think I got one of them wrong, when I laughed a minute ago. So, yeah, so you can do it any which way, but that allows you to move that around, and then literally it's just that bass line throughout the entire song. So nothing crazy. I don't think anything changes. If you hear a note in there that's played differently, let me know so that I can correct myself on this. But I think it's literally that line without variation all the way throughout. So I hope that helps. But that's that one. All right, so moving on, I was thinking it might be cool to do Pink Floyd's Money. I did do this as one of the, there was a time where I did five bass lines in 5 minutes. I had a whole little series on that. And so I did teach this intro lick on Money on that. But it's such a cool little bass part that I thought it might be cool to go over. And basically, we might just do a little bit more of the bass line. So this one sounds like this, of course. I'm just going to start with the first part. Oh, Hotel California would be pretty cool too. We'll do that. We'll do that after money. So good one, Seth. I'll definitely do that one. However, if I do anything wrong on that one, I may have to listen to that one to make sure I don't get just like a pattern that goes back and forth, and I might do it backwards, if that makes sense. So I'll try to teach that one correctly, but we'll start with money. So money, we're going to play the 2nd fret on the A string. Then we're going to go to the 4th fret on the G string. And then we're going to rake through the strings here, which means we're just going to drag our finger through the strings. And it'll be the G string, then the D string, then the A string. And the frets we'll play are the 4th fret on the G, 4th fret on the D, and 2nd fret on the A string. So if you're familiar with like root note and in different intervals, this would be the octave up root, 5 root. So you've got root, high root, 5 root. So 2nd fret, 4, 4, 2nd fret. And then we go down to the 2nd fret on the E string. We hit the open A string. Then the 2nd fret on the A string and the open D string. And the weird thing about this song is it's actually in 7. So even though it sounds like it's just a normal thing, you have to count to 7 as you're playing this. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You might notice I'm saying 7 really fast. A lot of people have the tendency to go 7, and that's actually adding an 8th beat to it. So just make sure you don't do that when you're playing through it. You could just say sev instead of 7, just to keep it one syllable so that you don't get confused. That would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sev. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's a part in the verse where instead of starting the pattern on the B, the 2nd fret on the A string, instead of doing that, we go 2, 3. We'll see 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not right. It actually starts at the end of one of the patterns. We'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I've never thought about the timing on that part before. But yes, yeah, making sure that the 2nd syllable of 7 doesn't end up being an extra beat. There's a joke in the music community, that I can play really well in 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. It's just like, no, you're just playing in 8 or 4, however you want to look at it. Because it's so much easier to feel 4 than to feel 7. So just a word to the wise. Okay. So in the verse, when he's singing, he's going, money, get away, get a good job with more pay in your own. When he does that part, the get a good job, that's that open D string is the end of the previous time around. And then this particular time, instead of going, we just go, boom, boom. So it's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for that time through the pattern. So when it goes, get a good job, that's going to start on the open D string, and that's going to be beat 7 of the previous one. So get a good, and so that's for our beat 1. Get a good job with more pay in your okay, right? So well, there we go, back to the pattern. But it's like the 2nd line in every verse, he does that, and the bass line just changes up slightly there. If you didn't do it and you kept playing the pattern, it probably wouldn't mess anybody up. Let's see if it would. Money, get away, get a good job. No, that's kind of weird. Get a good job with more pay in your okay. It's weird, but it works. Like if you played it, if you're not the person singing and playing bass, then it kind of works okay. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But that's in there in the verse. And then the next part of the song that's kind of cool is the new car, caviar, 4-star daydream, think I'll buy me a football team. And then it goes back in. So I like this part. Right. So that last note is the start of the next pattern, by the way. Okay. So that's going to be the 4th fret on the D string. D as in dog. So we've got, and then we're going to do that root, 5th root, starting there. So we got root, 5th root. Notice there's a rest in between. Root, rest, root, 5th root. And then you've got a choice. You can either use your pinky to play the 5th fret here, or you can play the open A string. I'm just gonna play the open A string for now. So we got root, 5th root, open A. Let's see. Actually, I like doing it the other way. So scratch that. Let's just use the 5th fret on the E string instead of the open A string. So we've got 4th fret on the D string, then a real quick, then a rest, then 4, 4, 2 on the D string, A string, and then the E string. And then we've got the 5th fret on the E string, then the 4th fret on the A string, the 4th fret on the D string, then chromatically down, the 3rd fret on the D string, then the 2nd fret on the D string. And then right after we hit that, we're going to rake through the string. So we're only going to hit 1 2nd fret on the D string. And then we're going to rake through the 2nd fret on the A string and then the open E string. So we've got 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, open. Okay. And so after we've got that, the rest is easy. If I remember it. So let's see. Yeah, so I had it right the first time. Then you're going to hit a 3rd fret on the E string, then the open A string, 2nd fret on the A string, and the open D string. And then you're going to go back to the main riff. So 4, I'm just going to say the fret numbers. Hopefully you can figure out the strings. 4, 4, 4, 2, 5th fret, 4th fret, 4, 3, 2, 2, open, 3, open, 2, open. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And then you're back to. So later on in the song, there's some other things. If you want me to go over those too, we can. The middle section is almost like a 12-bar blues, but stretched out. So like every measure is doubled. So it's like a 24-bar blues. And getting into that, there's a little thing going on. And then there's another solo. There's another solo before it gets to that. There's actually a saxophone solo. And during the saxophone solo, it does the main riff a whole bunch of times. I think it ends up being 8 times once the saxophone solo starts. Right. And then eventually you get to, I think after 8 of those, you go to the 7th fret on the A string. And you do the pattern that was down there, but now we don't have any open strings to use. So there are 2 ways to do this. Let's just go through it. You can do the 7th fret on the A string, and then you can go to the 9th fret on the G string, and then the 9th fret on the D string, then back to the 7th fret. And that's that rake motion, root, 5th root. So just that little power chord shape. 9, 9, 7. Okay. And then what I was doing there was doing the 7th fret on the E string, the 5th fret on the A string, then the 7th fret on the A string, and the 5th fret on the D string. So 7, 9, 9, 7, 7, 5, 7, 5. You could also put those 5th frets as 10th frets over here. I don't think it lends itself very well to U bass, but on electric bass, a lot of times I'll do that pattern instead. 5. Did I say? Yeah, it was 10. 7, 10, 7, 10. I was just wrong about the 5. So 7, 9, 9, 7, 7, 10, 7, 10. And that's just doing that 5-fret rule, getting those 5th fret notes I talked about before onto the thicker string instead. But anyway, it does that 4 times, I believe, then goes back down to the original groove 2 or 4 times. I can't remember which. I think it's 4. And then it does that other part we went over. But instead of going back to the groove here, we just hit a whole bunch of B's in a triplet figure. Triplet, 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 triplet. And apparently I can't play and say them in time. But you could do one of 2 things here. You're just playing the 2nd fret on the A string. You could use 3 fingers and go ring, middle, index. Okay, so these are not available on the Patreon. You can probably find the tabs to these songs elsewhere. But this isn't really an arrangement. This is just like literally the notes. So I think it'd probably be a good idea to look to kind of find them elsewhere. The short version, just that first part of Money. Yeah, so the first part of Money is on the Patreon because I did the 5 in 5 minutes. If you find the video that has Money in it, it sounds like a scavenger hunt for cash or something, right? If you find the one that has Money in it, but basically it has the tabs on the screen, and so that's one way to find it there too. So just the main riff, but then the rest of the stuff we went over, no, so far I don't have it tabbed out. Okay. So yeah, then it goes. So what I do to keep track of those notes there is I say triplet 4 times. Triplet, triplet. Okay, it's 8 times, isn't it? Triplet, 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 triplet. I can't count, but you get the idea. 8 times. Triplet, 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 triplet. And then we're off into that middle section. So all that's doing is, so this is the part that's like a 12-bar blues. We're starting on a B, and then we're going to where our pinky is, so like if we're doing 1 finger per fret, our pointer finger was on the 2nd fret on the A string, which happens to be a B note. Then we're going to go to the 5th fret, the 4th fret, the 3rd fret. So it's 2nd, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, 4th, 3rd. And occasionally he goes like bump, ba-boom. Occasionally hits it a 2nd time or does a ghost note in between. It's like 2, 2, 5, 4, 3, or 2, 2, 5, 4, 3. You might be able to double one of the other ones as well. You do that 8 times. Then you go to, this is just straight up 7, 6, 5, 4. But yeah, it's sort of like you're starting on an E note there, you're starting on a B note. So it's kind of like we're playing a blues. You do it 4 times. Right, and you can still double that first note every now and then. He might double it every time. I just can't remember if it's a super consistent thing or kind of an improvised thing. So maybe he says super consistent. It's always on the first note. It might always be 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, or it might just be how he's feeling it based on, I think he's using a pick. I could be wrong, but it might be just when he feels like doing it. And then you go back to the original one for 4. Then you got this cool part that's 2nd fret on the E string to 4th fret on the D string, just an octave. And then you do a chromatic down, 3, 2. So we've got 2, 2 on the E string, and then 4, 3, 2 on the D string. And then you got this cool walk down that's basically a B minor scale with 1 extra chromatic note. So check this out. That's the extra chromatic note, just to get back to B, because we didn't want to get to B too soon. So they added 1 extra note before getting to B, which is adding that 3rd fret on the A string. So here we've got on the G string 4th fret, then 2nd fret. Then on the D string we've got 5, 4, 2. Those are frets. And then we've got on the A string 5, 4, 3, 2. And that's how we get back to the beginning of the pattern. We do that whole entire bluesy thing that we just got through there 3 times total. Oh, sorry. After you get back to that pattern at the end, there's 4 at the end. Then that whole pattern starts out again. So that whole part gets monotonous because the end of that one is 4 of these and the beginning of the next one is 4 of these. But you'll hear it on the recording because the second time through they get quiet and they kind of palm mute all the way through. You know, they do 8 on that one, palm muted. Then they go to the next part. Then back to the first part. And then they have that other part. And then they do the walk down, not muted, all really loud. And they go back to that first part. But this is still the end of the pattern. And then the drums will do a fill, and then you'll do that whole entire thing one more time. But once you get to this part, the third time, we just go back to the original groove. And then everything else is just the stuff from the very beginning of the song. By the way, I need to note that middle section is not in 7. So the first part we were counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But after we get to the da 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 da, that's when it goes into 4/4 for that whole middle section. And then I guess I need to stop doing that. It looks like a blur. The camera doesn't know what to do when I move my hands around. So, so basically you do 4/4 for that middle section. And then when you get to that last, we go back into 7. Right? And so then after that, you do the last verse just normal, but then he gets to the word away at the very end, you know, you're all away. And when he says away, you're just going to go into 2 notes back and forth, the open D string and the 2nd fret on the A string. You're just going boom, boom. Yeah, away, away, away. Right, and you just keep going. It just fades off into the distance. There's all those sounds and all the talking and all the cool stuff at the end of the song. So that's a little bit too in depth, probably, but that's the bass line for that. I think on the other songs, I probably won't go through the entire thing, but I'm going to go over what I think the bass line is on Hotel California, rather than wasting you guys' time by looking it up and listening to it. But it could be that I have part of it kind of backwards, but I believe it's yeah. So I think it might be that the note I'm hanging out on, you know how like the first time through I'm like hanging out, that note right there. It might be that it's really the 2nd chord that you hang out on that, and the first one's no, it doesn't sound right. So I think I was right the first time. So this is basically a whole bunch of like, if you're a guitar player and you know what power chords are, it's basically a power chord, which is the same thing that we kind of like started Money with, where we're going like, where we're like doing this shape where we're playing the root on one string, the 5th, and then that root up an octave down here. So it's like if you just do that, it's basically like the bass part is moving in chords, but we're playing individual strings out of them. If I'm not perfectly right about this, then just know this is what I end up playing on it when I play it out. And so it starts on a B minor. So it's the same chord that Money starts on. So we're just going to be playing 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D string, and 4th fret on the G string. Those are going to be the notes that we're going to use. And we're going to go 2 of the 2nd fret, then 1 of the 4th fret on the D string, and 1 of the 4th fret on the G string. And then we're going to go boom, 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 or That's the part. There are like little things in here where it's like it might be one note slightly different or something. So 2, 2, 4, 4, then 4 on the D string, or it might be. I probably need to hear it. There are things that you think you know really well, and then when you go to explain it to somebody, you're like, maybe I make that part up. But anyway, that's what I think it does is 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 4. So maybe that I'm just adding a note in there. But yeah, you just do that 2, 2, 4 on the D string, 4 on the G string, and then you go 4, 4. So that's 4 on the G string, 4 on the D string. And maybe that's a ghost note, and that may be why I'm thinking that there's another note in there. If there is another note prefacing those other two, if it's an actual note, it's probably the 4th fret on the D string. Okay, so we've got that. And then we're going to move that pattern down to the 2nd fret on the E string, and the 4th fret on the A string, and the 4th fret on the D string. And this time we're going to go do-da-da-dum. So it's a little bit different. So 2, 2 on the E string, 4 on the A string, and 4 on the D string. And then we're going to go either a ghost note or 4th fret on the A string. And then we're going to go 4 on the D string, 4 on the A string, and 4 on the E string, just really quickly. Da-da-dum, which I like to rake through those notes. So it does that first time through, it goes and hangs on that note. The second time. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say root, 5th, root for each one of these chords. On the first chord, we're going root, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th. Then we've got on the second chord, root, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, root. So then after that, we'll go to A, root, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th. So what we're doing here, we're starting on the 5th fret on the A string, and then we're playing the 5th fret on the, 5th fret on the E string, then the 7th fret on the A string, and 7th fret on the D string. So that's going to be root, root, 5th octave, or root up there, 5th, root, 5th. Okay? So. And I think it goes to the high E here, but it might go. I'm not sure if it goes to the low E there, if it goes to the high E here. Just know that it's an E power chord wherever it goes. So if it goes high, then that would be 7 on the A string, 9 on the D string, and 9 on the G string. And then, you know, it just does that second part of the pattern. Root, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, right? Root, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, right? And it could be there, or it might be down here. If it's the lower octave, it's going to be the open E string 2 times, then the 2nd fret on the A string, then the 2nd fret on the D string, and then just those notes, you know, the same pattern that we've been doing the whole way through. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to go into too much detail since it looks like we've got a couple more songs to go. But then you just keep going around the chord progression. So the next area you're going to be at after you do the E, whichever one you decide, you're going to do a G chord, which is going to start on the 3rd fret of the E string. So you're going to have 3rd fret on the E string, 5th fret on the A string, 5th fret on the D string. So let's see. Let me start from the beginning of the pattern so I can remember where we are in it. So first one's B minor. We've got F sharp minor. It might be. Then A. Then E. Now we've got our G. And then we're going to go to a D. And that one's going to be 5th fret on the A string. Then we're going to do the 7th fret on the D string and the 7th fret on the G string. So we got for G, then now we're going to D. And And then I like going down to E on this one. And so we're just doing an E power chord there. I think it's E minor this time chord-wise, but so we're going to do the E one. So that's open E twice, second fret on the A string, second fret on the D string, and then there's probably a second fret on the A string really quick, but it's kind of a ghosted note. And then second fret on the D string, second fret on the A string. And then we're going to go to an F sharp chord, which is going to be the second fret on the E string, fourth fret on the A string, and fourth fret on the D string. And we're going to do that second half of the pattern chord-wise. All right, so that's the verse part. The chorus, I can't remember if it keeps that pattern or if it does a variation, but then it's a different set of chords. I think I'm going to hold off on that, though, because to me, the really cool part's the verse. But the chorus, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. It has that cool walk up, I guess. So you're probably still doing the pattern. Welcome to the Hotel California. No, you're probably not, actually. It doesn't sound right. It's a lovely place. So I just kind of just play a normal bass line. I kind of abandon that pattern and just play notes from there, but not as many notes and not with as much rhythm, although it may still do the pattern there. Sorry, I don't know there, but the chords there are G, D, E minor. Then when it gets to B, right, it walks up the B minor scale. So that's second fret. So let me just go through the chorus. You're doing a G. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Or actually, that's where it walks up. Such a lovely face, right? So what you're doing there is you're essentially walking up the B minor scale until you're about to get to G, but we'll hit the low G instead of the high G. So that's going to be second fret on the A string, fourth fret, then fifth fret, second fret on the D string, then fourth fret, and then instead of hitting the fifth fret, we're going to go down the octave and do that pattern again. So we're going to start on that G power chord like we had. And the reason I'm not going through all of these things note-wise, hey, I'm glad you could make it, is the reason I'm not going through these things note-wise is because we did cover these patterns in the verse part. So if you look closely, you can tell I'm starting on the third fret for G, and then going to D, which is the fifth fret on the A string. And then we've got that E minor, then that B minor walk up, G again, D. Anytime. Let's see, anytime. I'm not sure what it does there. That time it definitely goes E minor to F, F sharp. So right. So you might be able to do the pattern all the way through it. The more I think about it, the more it seems to work. But so I'm thinking that is the case, that you actually do continue the pattern through the chorus, or you can either way. Hey Zach, thanks for hanging out and catching up on stuff. Good to see you. So that's the idea on Hotel California. I don't know if we want to try to play it along together or not. It's kind of a long pattern, and we've already spent 10 minutes on it. But that's the idea on there. You're taking those chords and you're applying this groove to it that's really repetitive going through it. So hopefully that helps out a little bit on that one. You might listen to the song and be like, hey, you're doing this note wrong, or you're doing this part slightly wrong, but that's the basic groove. And remember, I'm trying to go by memory, so take it easy on me. Okay, so let's see what we got. So Moondance, I don't think I ever play Moondance correctly. I just think about the chords that are happening. There's that boom, boom, boom. So it's like you're doing an A minor chord and then doing a B chord. And so I kind of just walk around over it. So I go A, C, B, D, but he walks all around, and I feel like he improvises a little bit more on the verse parts and kind of walks all over the place. I could be wrong. There might be an actual pattern that is just eluding me right now because my brain just goes, oh, that's just a walking line. I'm going to play a walking line over it. Sometimes it's like I'm a little bit, it's like when you have to learn a lot of songs or when you have to play a lot of songs, sometimes you just go with that works. So I'll kind of move on. But what I generally do for that one, it's just some sort of walking with outlining an A minor chord and then outlining a B minor chord. Or sorry, I don't know if I hit the fifths on the B minor chord, but yeah, the A minor to B minor. And sometimes I'll put the third in the bass on the A minor so I can kind of get it to the line to change up a little bit. So I might go like A, C, B, D, C, A, B, D, just to give it a little more variation. So that's open 3, 2, 5, 3, open 2, 5. It's something I kind of like to do. And that's all on the A string. We'll just keep it on the A string to keep it easy. But you could also add the fifth in there. So I'm kind of just using notes from the chord to create a walking line and keep it going. He probably does something a little bit more interesting. I think he walks further up and keeps the walking line going. But I don't think there's really that much of a pattern on that part. And then the chord changes, they change in the when da 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 da. That's like goes D minor. So it's that part's D minor to A minor, D, A minor, D, A minor, and then it stops for a second and goes D, 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 E, E, E. So for the D minor, you could literally just do what I was doing and go 0, 2, 3 on the D string, and then the second fret on the G string. And then on the A, I'm doing the same thing. So then I go to the A string and do the same pattern. Just to keep it simple for now, you can do that. And then go open D 3 times. Then second fret on, and you could either do the second fret on the D string or you could do the open E. So D, 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 E, 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 either way, or D, 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 E, E, E. And then the next part actually is a pattern. And so I'm trying to remember this. I think it's like boom, 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 yeah, and I remember hearing that part and realizing it actually was a pattern there. So, oh, that's really cool that your bass teacher used to play for all those guys. That's super cool. Very, very awesome. Oh, wow. You guys have some really, really cool stories with these songs. I'm jealous. I don't think I've had anything quite that cool. That's pretty awesome. Gotta say, both of you guys, that's really cool. So, so basically, I think on that part, it's really an A minor still going to D, but they're like these hits. So what you do is you go E, G, A, C, D, and then so that's going to be the open E string to the third fret on the E string to the open A string. So you're leading into the A chord. A, D, A. So you could keep it all in the same octave and do that, but that's not what the bass player does. When you listen to the recording, he's going E, G, A, C, D, then he's doing it up the octave. E, G, A, C, E. So. And then eventually you get to, which I like hitting the high, the E on the D string and then the open E string. So I really like that part of the song, and that's why I've actually committed to learning that part. But the walking line, I almost feel like he's probably improvising, and if he's not, I I just kind of like choose to take it as I'm going to improvise because I like to do that there, and I can get it to work there. So that kind of makes sense, hopefully, to you guys. Okay, so as far as the Seinfeld theme, I actually did a video on the Seinfeld theme, and there's at least tab. I don't think I did lessons, but right. Sounds really bad on rubber strings, but you get the idea. So on that one, I'm not going to teach that today because I pretty recently did that one. So so just look back through my recent videos and you should find that one. But that's a really good suggestion too. Hopefully Moondance was all right for you guys. I really like that one part. Can I just have one more dance with you? That's the hell. Can I just have one more dance? You know, and then eventually it does that. So that's pretty cool. Is that like a dab emoji? That's fun. But yeah, I don't think Seinfeld sounds too pleasant on the rubber strings. That's really cool. Hold on. So if you have a little bit of sweat on your finger or a little bit of oil on your finger and you drag it across the string at the right speed, you get this nice little string noise. Wow, it doesn't work as well on the D string. Huh, okay. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit there, but that's on that. So yeah, the Seinfeld theme, you're kind of starting on the open E string. Then you're going to end up on the 4th fret on the oh, and I forgot about the there is that intro, isn't there? So right. So that's kind of like the 7, 5, and then you kind of bend. Sorry, 7th of the key. I should be telling you the fret. It's also the 7th fret, 9th fret of the D string, then the 7th fret, 5th fret on the D string, basically. And then you've got the 5th fret on the A string, the 7th fret on the E string, then the 5th fret on the A string, or sorry, the E string, which kind of bend into it. And then you hit that 3 and then that open. So yeah, so there's that. And I guess just for kicks, since this is a request thing, even though you're telling me just, try it, we're going to try doing higher ground on here too. If you do it kind of slow, it's really not that bad. So I don't think that one's quite as bad. You just have to play really lightly, which is something that you're not used to if you're used to slapping on electric bass. Don't slap anywhere near as hard and pop very, very, very lightly. And it's not really that weird if you do those things, but you may have to get used to that if you're used to having to pop really hard on the electric. So hopefully that can help you adjust to it if you're wanting to do that. But yeah. So does anyone have any other requests? I'm going to regret asking for more requests, but let's see what happens. All right. Cool. Well, Franco, I hope you get a U-bass soon. Yeah, as far as the small fingers and all that stuff, I don't think mine are particularly like long fingers or anything. I think maybe they look bigger on here, but they're not particularly long. It's really all about thumb placement on the back and just, having your hand in the right posture, because like, if you look here, I can actually like reach like way over the neck this way without bending my wrist much. So, the idea is just that. And then you don't really have to stretch super far unless you're playing like really complicated stuff. I haven't done another one bites the dust yet. Thanks for reminding me. All right. So let's just go over the main groove, and then I'll have to see if I remember the. Looks like I remember it. Okay. So that's my favorite part of the song when it does the change. But we'll start with the main groove first. So that part is all on the E string. 5, 3, open, 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 and 3 opens really fast. O, 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 then 3rd fret on the E string, open, and then the 5th fret. The hard part about this is not the notes, because anybody can go. The hard part's this rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1E, and a 2E, and a 3, and a 4E, and a 1E, and a 2E, and a 3, and a 4E. And so the hard part is the a 1 and. So it's the after beat 4, and then 1 E. It's not and. A 1 E or 1 E and. No, it is and. A 1 and. You do skip over the E there. So if you're good at rhythm, and it just comes naturally to you, you won't have to break this down and think about it. But if rhythm is one of those things that's harder for you and takes you longer to grasp, you may have to do what I'm doing and count 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and figure out where every single one of those lands. So like if we did it slowly, 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and so the hard part is the a 1 so a 1E and so it's like you're hitting on a 1 and but skipping over E. A 1 and, right? A 1 and 2E and then it kind of ends on the other. Yeah, so I think rhythm comes really naturally for some people. It's also how familiar you are with the song. But I'm guessing that rhythm comes really natural for you, Navix. So yeah, I think that's why. Is just because some people really struggle with rhythm and counting. I've had students where basically they could do the notes, they could play with pretty good technique, have pretty good grasp on everything, but for some reason rhythm was their Achilles heel. And it's like they could hear something over and over again, but they wouldn't really ingrain the rhythm. And for them, they would have to break this down and play it super slow and then gradually build it up to speed. And there are a lot of people have to do that, but it's really worth the effort, because when you break down a bunch of songs like that, eventually you get to the point where you just hear it full speed and you already know. So it's like you practice all the different variations of timing. The more you do, the more it just comes naturally to you. So your grandma is a guitar and piano player. Your dad's also a piano player. Right. So if you grow up around music, you grow up around rhythm, you grow up around people playing complex rhythms all the time, then it's just always been familiar to you. But a lot of other people, like if you're raised in a background where your parents don't play music and they listen to, just country music or something, and with the certain country artists that aren't playing complex rhythms, and I don't want to dog on country. It could be plenty of other genres too, but that are more 8th note based. You may just not be familiar with hearing 16th note rhythms and recognizing them. So it's a lot of things, but yeah, it came easy to me too. I never realized how complicated that rhythm was on paper until I had to explain it to somebody. And then I realized, oh, it's not as simple as I thought it was. I actually went to Georgia State University and I studied music there. Fun fact, I actually ended up getting an upright bass a little bit before applying to school because I knew I would need one. And I ended up buying a blue upright bass. And it sounded awful. It was painted blue. One person dubbed it Cookie Monster, and I thought that was pretty fitting. I ended up buying it on Craigslist for like $300 and then selling it for a similar price. And if you buy an upright bass for $300, it's not going to be the most quality thing. The neck was made out of a kind of wood that bent a little bit. So you know how you get some buzz notes like up high on some of these E-basses, or like if you play too far back on a fret, it kind of sounds like a rubber band. that blue bass had some of those notes up high, and so it just sounded like I was playing on a rubber band because it was buzzing on the fingerboard. There's no metal for it to buzz on, but it was buzzing on the wood. And so I finally ended up getting this bass. It's cool because there's a shop in town that lets you rent to own an upright bass. So obviously I didn't have, at the time, broke college student, I didn't have time or money to be able to buy one of those outright. So I rented it. And at the time it was a cheaper rental. So it was just like a rent to own. And after 2 years, it was mine, you know, $100 a month for 2 years. And then boom, you got it. Yeah, I don't know who I sold the Cookie Monster to. They were just some random person on Craigslist. I bought it on Craigslist, used it for a while, sold it on Craigslist after getting this one. And, you know, a lot of people are like, why didn't you keep it? It's like I was living in apartments. It would just take up way too much space having two upright basses. Now I have a house and would probably have enough room for it somewhere, but oh well, it's gone. But it was a lot of fun to play. If you go back to my other channel, I actually have a channel that's called Fuwa 7 for some reason. So I'll just type it in the chat there. So you just do youtube.com/Fuwa7. If you go down, there's one where I did there was a Ray Brown transcription, and I was like 18 or 19, I think, probably 19. And there's a video of me playing that bass. There are a couple of pictures, if I could find the pictures that I did with that bass that were kind of fun. If I can find one, I'll show you guys. But I guess we can keep working on Another One Bites the Dust until then. So so we got that. I'm trying to remember what happens next. I think it goes like boom, 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 boom. It does something along those lines where it's like 2nd fret on the E string. But I kind of like doing like 2 to 5th fret. But you could also play it as the open A string when you instead of the 5th fret on the E string. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Right, and then you go back into the first one, but later on there's that. Or I can't remember where that hit is, so it might be on the E. It might be, let's see, dun 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 dun, and then for E, I think it's on the E after beat 4. So that whole part starts on a C, which is the 3rd fret on the A string. So 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. So all on the A string, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. Then you hit the 5 on the D string. Then the 3 on the E string. Those are all frets. So 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3. Then 3 on the A string, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 on the E string. So 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 3 on the E string, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5 on the D string, 3 on the E string. Then you've got 5, 5, 5, 6, 7 on the E string. And then I think it's a hit on the E, meaning 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. 3 E. And that'll be the 3rd fret on the E string. And then you go back to the main riff. So. Okay. So you may want to do it instead of going 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, because you notice it sounds kind of weird coming out of my amp. I'm not sure if you can tell that there, but the tone's kind of weird on these rubber strings on this particular U bass. So I would probably go. So that would be the open A string instead of the 5th fret on the E string, the 1st fret instead of the 6th fret, and 1st fret on the A string instead of the 6th fret on the E string, and then the 2nd fret on the A string instead of the 7th fret on the E string. So that's 0, 0, 0, 1, 2 on the A string, and then hitting the 3rd fret on the E string, and then going back into the groove. So I have done, in one of my 5 songs in 5 minutes, I have done Billie Jean on there. And I got called out by somebody because I did a simplified version, and I knew that there was another note in there. I just figured that it would be kind of tricky for people learning when you're trying to learn songs pretty quickly. I would think that you would just want to play a single note instead of 2 notes at the same time. So we've got, but really the song adds the octave. So on those F sharps, we're really going. And so it's, I think I'm out of tune, but anyway. F sharp, F sharp, octave, octave, get the idea. So it's hard to do without getting a lot of string noise out of it, but basically you're hitting the 2nd fret on the E string and the 4th fret on the D string. So that's just that octave. And you're hitting those at the same time. I like to do my thumb hitting the note on the E string and my middle finger plucking the note on the D string, right? So you've got that, then the 4th fret on the A string, then the 2nd fret on the D string, 4th fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the D string, 4th fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the A string. And then the pattern starts over. Oh, sorry. When I got to that 4th fret on the D string, you're going to hit the octave again. So let me go through that again. So the octave, 2nd fret on the E string with 2nd fret, or with 4th fret. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. 2nd fret on the E string with 4th fret on the D string. Then we got the 4th fret on the A string by itself, the 2nd fret on the D string. Now here we're going to do that 2nd octave thing. So 2nd fret on the E string with 4th fret on the D string. Then 2nd fret on the D string. Then 4th fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the A string, and 4th fret on the A string. Then we start over again. Yeah, so if you can kind of like bar the string so that you don't have to move your hand around as much, you might be able to lessen some of the string noise. Not really, though. It's kind of tricky to not get a lot of string noise out of that. These strings are the Aquila Thunderguts. I have on that bass right there, the Journeyman. I have the flat wounds. So those are the Gali Kala flat wounds. And then I have the round wounds, just the Kala round wounds on my Exotic Mahogany. So those are the ones I use right now. But in the future, I'm going to try out some different strings and just try out more like the Aquila Thunder Reds and the Thunder Blacks and just see which ones I like better. But yeah, those are the ones I use. Yeah, the octave is really cool. So you do that as the main groove, though. I wonder if I could do it like this. I think what's happening is a note's ringing out. So what I'd probably do is if I had one of those little mutes, I would probably put the mute over this part of the string so that those notes wouldn't ring out as loud while I'm playing this. But that's kind of the idea. Maybe I'd try to use different fingers like that. Oh, it's just because I'm leaving that note down. So it's a little tricky, but it's kind of a fun finger twister. And then after that, I can't remember if it does the octaves on this part or not, but let's say it does. So that's a B note either way. I'm thinking it's a B octave, so 2nd fret on the A string and 4th fret on the D string. And then we're going to do the 4th fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string. And I'm going to play this as an octave still. 2nd fret on the A string and 4th fret on the G string again. So And then I think instead of playing the same exact pattern that he actually rests there, but it might just be that it's quiet on the recording. But I always hear instead of. So I'm thinking it just rests there. So octave, 4, 2, octave, rest. And then you're going to go 4, 2, 4 on the D string. 4, 2, 4 on the D string. Okay. And then you do that twice. Well, except the last note, instead of going 4, 2, 4 on the D string, go 4, 2, and then I think I hear 4 on the A string. If it's not right, it's how I play it. So I'm just going to give you that disclaimer just in case. But I think it's right. Then you go back to the main groove. So then later on in the song, when you get to people always told me, be careful, that whole thing, that's going to be. And I think he slides into the note. I don't know if he hits a note like that. Let's see. So there may be another note going in there, sliding into that. I just can't quite remember for sure. But the main things to know is that you're doing the 5th fret on the A string, and then you're walking into the 2nd fret on the E string, going 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2, 2, and then some sort of slide into that note. So we do that over and over, and then the next time, that 4th time, so see how I went around 3 times that same pattern, then we do 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 on the A string. So you're hitting the 4 8 times. And then we're back to that main groove. So the other reason that I don't like doing the octave when I play live, I'll usually do the octave for the intro, and I'm usually on the electric bass. I'm usually on the full scale. And basically the reason that I won't continue it all the way throughout the song is just a simple matter of my wrist wears out pretty quickly these days. So if I'm playing a gig that's like 3 hours long, for the ability to keep playing for the rest of the night, a lot of times I just play the upper octave when I'm playing those parts. But if you want to be like the recording, you hit the lower octave and the upper octave at the same time. Cool. So that's Billie Jean. Great request on that one. Does anybody else have any last requests? I'll have to work through it quickly since we basically run through the time. We're already at over an hour. So if someone has another song that they want to hear, or if they want to remind me that I may have missed one somewhere in here, let's see, just let me know. Oh, there's a boogie woogie bass line. So it depends on what you're doing for a boogie woogie. I mean, some people are just going like, but I don't know if you mean that kind of boogie woogie, or if you mean like if you had a song in mind, I could listen to it and tell you which one it's like. But you're probably just going like open E string twice, 3rd fret on the E string twice, and then back to open. So 003, 0003, 0003, 0003. I mean, that's kind of, I think I've heard people refer to that kind of bass line as boogie woogie, but that doesn't necessarily fit with the boogie woogie piano stuff that I've heard. So I'm kind of confused on that. But, or you could also do, let's see, you could also do that like Lagrange kind of thing. So that's doing oh. So after you hit the first open, you're on the upbeats for the rest of the measure, syncopating and not hitting any of the downbeats. Dun, 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 up, 3. And then when you hit the 3, you're on the downbeat. And the 5's on the downbeat. 3, 5, 3, 5. And I think that if you're actually playing Lagrange, I think there's actually a little bit of extra notes at the end. So it's like 5, 3, 5, open. But otherwise, you don't really do that. The Beatles Come Together. Okay, so I had a student that was working on this, and as we were going over it, it's like there's kind of a slide out of it that I don't do. So I'm going to show you how I play it, and then I'm going to kind of give you an example of like what you can do that might actually be in there that I'm just not too concerned about. But this is how I play it. And I think the slide at the end is the like sliding out of that note. So if you're going to do that slide out, right, then you're going to play the 5th fret, or you can play the open D string. It doesn't matter which one. But I like playing 5th fret on the A string twice. And then I like sliding from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the D string. And I kind of slide slowly so I get all 3 of the notes in there. Da-da-dun. And then the 10th fret on the G string, and then the 7th fret on the G string. And it's up to you if you want to slide out of that note or not. So the challenge is if you slide out of that note, you can't really hit the first note with your pointer finger if your pointer finger was doing the sliding. So you might have to you could do one of 2 things. You could either slide with a different finger, which still doesn't really work. So what I'd probably do is I'd slide with the pointer finger down and then catch the root note with the middle finger. When I get back to that 5th fret on the A string, catch it with the middle finger and then immediately switch. So I'd literally play it once with the middle finger and then once with the pointer finger to get ready for the slide. Or you could just leave the slide out on that last little part. But either way, up to you. And so you do that a whole bunch, right? You keep doing that one. You keep doing that one in the verse as well. Sorry, I'm laughing about Rocket Scribble. I'll have to come back to the to that question because that one makes me laugh a little bit. So yeah, you just go through there as the intro. And I'm just going to say this now instead of later on. It doesn't happen at the beginning. There's a cool little fill that you can do where it's 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. At least that's the way I do it. You could also slide it. But I think it sounds better on the U bass. Just do hammer on, pull off. So like 12 pull off to 10, 12 pull off to 10, then 12 on the D string. So the first 2 are on the G string, by the way. So that's what I would do there. And that's usually like leading into a verse or toward the end of the song. So not out of the intro like right there, but later on. Okay. So we do that underneath the words. You come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly. Yeah, it's hard to sing and play that. Juju eyeball, he won. Holy roller, he got. And then here's the interesting thing: the guitar starts just playing like a blues riff, like a kind of thing. And wow, I should have tuned at some point. I'm sure y'all have been putting up with that out of tuneness. It may just be the intonation actually, because it doesn't really look that bad tuning wise. A little out though. Okay, but when it goes to A, it's still doing that on the bass, even though the guitar is doing that bass line or guitar part. So so you're going to be on the 5th fret on the E string when you get to that part. And you're doing the same pattern that you were doing on the other strings. You're just moving them down all of that down one string. So instead of what you were playing on the A string, those notes will be on the E string. What you were playing on the D string before, those notes will be on the A string. And what notes you're playing on the G string will now be on the D string. But otherwise, it's the same frets. So we got, here come old flat top, he come, brewing up slowly, he got 2 eyeballs, he won, holy roller, he got hair down, that's the A, to his knees, and then you're going to hit a G, which is 3rd fret on the E string, and and you're going to stop for a second while the bass drum's going boom, 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 boom. And after the first verse, you go back to that intro part. But the second verse, instead of doing that, you would go into the chorus, and the chorus is right. So that's just 7th fret on the E string, 7 7 7 7 7 7 5 5 3 3 3 3 5. Just frets, 7th, 5th fret, 3rd fret, back to 5th fret. And then back. So that's when he goes, come together right now over me. Help if I could sing in tune, but you get the idea. And actually, I think that is leading into the solo section. So what happens is there are a few verses. I think there are 3 verses. So the first one, there's no chorus. The second one, there's a chorus after. The third one, there's a chorus after. And then when you go back to the intro, you just play it twice instead of 4 times. And then you do that. And then the solo starts. And you're playing the lick through the first part of the solo. And after you play it 4 times, when you go to the A, this time you're just going to pedal the A. So you could do an open A string, or you could do 5th fret on the E string. But let's just do the open A for now. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, ba, dum, bum. Bum, ba, dum, dum. So you do 4 measures, really, of just pounding the A instead of doing those stops that are in the verse. So that happens underneath the solo. And then once it gets to the end of the solo, you're doing that intro again. And I can't remember if it's 2 or 4 times, but you get the idea on the bass line. It goes back into a verse, and then it goes through, and everything else in the song you've already covered. There's either that fill every now and then toward the end, but you're really just playing the lick on the way out. And this is what I'm calling the lick. So you've got another verse, another chorus, then the lick, and you just repeat and just, add little fills, I guess, mostly just there are drum fills for sure in there. I'm not sure if there are other bass fills, but you get the idea. So that's the idea on that. So do I have a favorite meme song that I know the bass line for? Well, I would say, the Seinfeld theme sort of seems like a meme to me, but I'm trying to think of meme songs in general. So with cool bass lines, man, for some reason I can't think of particularly meme songs. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure on that one. What would be considered meme songs, and to know if I remember them. I guess this could be a meme song, right? Actually, it's right. So which song was I playing there, right? One note will tell you whether it's one song or the other song. So it's kind of a meme probably for that. Like, there should be a meme of Vanilla Ice saying, like, it's not plagiarizing. There's one note different or whatever. It's that one note. But yeah, that would be fun. Oh, and go through and play that. There was one time where I did. I made a TikTok account. It's still Stephen Coxbase, so you could find me on there. And basically, still with the puns, basically, I said, I'm trying to remember what I called the thing, but it was just like, this song, that's what it was. This song needs a little bass. And then I pull out the U bass, and then I'd play along with whatever song it was that was on there. So I actually did that. So yeah, because I added that extra note, I was doing right. Sorry, breathed in weird, but yeah. So yeah, I guess I could go back and do some more of those, but I'm trying to remember what the song was even called that was on there, but I can't remember the name of it. but yeah, it was fun just playing along with whatever they had and just picking out the bass line and playing along with it. So I suppose I could do more of that, although it didn't seem like people on TikTok really, I don't know, for some reason with TikTok, I try to see what, what gets views. I'm just curious about the platform, like what makes things go viral. And it seems like bass content, I haven't figured out how to make bass content go viral at all. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, so technically I was playing Ice Ice Baby because of that one extra note. But yeah, Under Pressure just doesn't have that extra pickup note. So here's the difference. Here's Under Pressure. And here's Ice Ice Baby. Just that one note. So there's an extra little pickup note, and all of a sudden it's a different song, right? Well, I'm not sure how that held up in court. I think they didn't lose. I think they actually won that one, even though it's totally ripped off. It's totally in the same part of the neck. It's totally the same key, everything of that nature. But somehow they got away with it. Right. So I don't know. I think there was a lawsuit, but I don't know who won on that one. I feel like there was a behind the music thing, and he was saying they won simply because that note was in there. But to be fair, the only thing that's like copyrightable about that, or that should be, I think, in a broader sense, is just because the rhythm, right? Da 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 da. So 1 and 2 and a 3 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4. 1. So I mean, it's kind of a specific rhythm, but the notes are just a root and a fifth. So it's like a country line going down though. You know what I mean? So I guess it's unique enough to where the copyright should have held, but it's arguable. But there's actually more to that song. Everybody just thinks that the Ice Ice Baby, there's just that line. Or sorry, I did the wrong pickup note. But it actually had like this cool. I'm trying to remember it. I can't remember it now. I can't remember it. That's what it is. And there's like this dun 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 dun. There's one synth doing that part, and then the other part's going. Right, and so if you combine them, which is what I do when I play shows, if there's like not a keyboardist there, or if the keyboardist is just choosing to do one of them, I kind of combine them and go. Yeah, believe it or not, someone at a wedding wanted that one time, and so I learned both those parts, not knowing if the synth player would want to play one or the other. And yeah, fun fact: there's a little bit more to that song than that, but they still ripped off Under Pressure, for sure, straight up. With or Without You, I feel like that one is just, if I'm not mistaken, is just doing eighth notes on the chord progression. So I need to listen to it to figure out what key it's in real quick. But I want to say it's just dun, 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 dun. I want to say it's a 1-6-4-5, but all of a sudden I need to listen to it and make sure. So let me do that real quick, and I'll end on that one. That'll be the last request on here. But that's a good song. And then this way I can also hear if there's anything more to the bass line that I'm not remembering. All right, I'm on YouTube on 2 devices. With or without you. All right, let's see what we can do. First, we hear an ad. Okay, so we're waiting through the ad. I gotta figure out what key it's in. Let's see. Oh, he slid into it. That's cool. Okay. So if the video is right, he's hitting the 5th fret on the D string, then the open A string. And then he's doing the 2nd fret on the A string, and then he's hitting the 3rd fret on the E string, and then he's sliding up to get back to that 5th fret. Yeah, so you get the idea, and then open A, then the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd fret on the E string. Cool. The bass line to what? I'm not sure if I know. Play a bass line to the ad. Oh, the ad didn't have music this time around, unfortunately. 90% of the time they do, but that one I don't think did. To the ad. Yeah. There was something I was listening to earlier that had some background music with a cool little bass line. I'm gonna do one more bass line. Why not? So Stir It Up, Bob Marley and the Wailers. I think I went over this last week, so I'll go over it quickly. 5th fret on the E string, 4th fret on the A string, then another one of those to lead into the 5th fret on the A string, then back to the 4th fret on the A string, then 4, 5 again, 4 on the D string, 7 on the D string, and then I like going 5, 7 on the A string, but I don't know if it really has that preface note. I just like doing that. And it's going to be the 6th fret on the D string and the 9th fret on the D string. So 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4 on the D string, 7, 5, 7, 6 on the D string, 9. Yeah. So you got that one. And it's in the key of A major for the record. It's a 1-4-5 progression. I think last week I did it with the loop pedal with and then the verse part, that's literally just 5, 7, 7 on the E string, then 4 on the A string, then 5 on the E string. So 5, 7, 7, 4, 5, and you rest. And then you do the same thing, but you do it starting on the A string, going to the D string. 5, 7, 7 on the A string, 4 on the D string, back to 5 on the A string. You like doing this? Or which kind of walking lines? I think I saw that Zach, that little last part's not actually in the song, but I saw that Zach said he liked doing a walking line from the verse to the chorus. So I think it's just talking about going down from the 5th note of the scale down to the 1st note. So you got boom, 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 boom. We'll pretend this is the end of the verse. We got boom, boom, boom. So yeah, you can do that. I don't think it's in the original song at all, but it works. It fits because you are technically going to an E chord there. It's just the bass is silent during that part. So if you wanted to walk down from E down to A, it actually does work with the song. So that is a good walking line to put there. I kind of like leaving the space, but it's up to you. I suppose you could walk up to. to me, that one doesn't really fit that well. So yeah, you could do that walk down or just leave it silent. I think it sounds pretty good either way there. But I would go with the silent one. Less is better sometimes. So that's about it, guys. Thank you all for hanging out and having so many fun requests. I hope I didn't teach you wrong, but I think if you were to play the lines the way that I played them here with a band that was playing the songs in the original key, I don't think they'd be mad at you. I think they wouldn't say anything to you at all. If there's a note wrong in there, I don't think they would notice. I don't think no one in the audience has ever walked up to me at the end of a gig and been like, "Hey, those notes were wrong." But yeah, I think that I'll give myself like a 85-90% correct on those lines. So just take them with a grain of salt, and you can check them with another video. And if you want to, come back on here and comment, "Hey, you had the fourth note in the sixth measure of this song wrong," or whatever, if you really want to, so that you're letting other people know. But honestly, I think those, they all work for me, and no one's ever said anything. So hopefully you guys will get to play those songs live. I know that right now there's not a lot of live music going around for obvious reasons, but there is a little bit more than there was. Like I said, I've been playing weddings a lot lately, and I'm sure there are some small socially distant coffee shop kind of things, or what are they called? Breweries are doing little outdoor things and stuff like that where it's easy to social distance, at least here. So so hopefully that helps. Oh man, you're bringing up Richard Cheese. That's pretty funny. I kind of like what he does. If you don't know who that is, he takes pop songs and then does like really loungy jazz versions of those songs. It's pretty funny. Like taking songs like I think he took a Nine Inch Nails song and did a jazzy version. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next week. Have a good night, a good week, and I will see you on Tuesday for the video next week and Thursday for the live stream. Oh, hey Alan, you caught me right at the outro. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Zach. Rocket Scribble. Let's see who else. Marilyn. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Navix, Will, Franco, and looks like I'll just go ahead and call him Charlie. BB Ukes, although I think I know your name is Brenda, but that's okay. Wendy, and Robert. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out and commenting. For everybody that didn't comment, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.